Is pulp. You can make paper from anything that you can kind of knead into a pulp. A lot of people use plants, a lot of people use old books and magazines, things like that. What really works super well is pre-made pulp. To make the paper suitable to write on, you use sizing. So sizing kind of looks like milk. Don't drink it, it's not. Retention agent is clear. And what you do is you mix up your pulp first. We'll get them in our vats, and then we'll add the retention agent, then we'll add the colour, then we'll add the sizing. We've got a selection of colours here. These are super duper good quality. They're very, very nice. We're going to be making a very pale paper because you're going to be putting calligraphy on them, and then you're going to be colouring them. You're going to be illustrating them, and you might want to kind of colour wash. Perfect. Perfect.
I think my philosophy on teaching art is just to instill a love for it, to make people realize that there really are no rules. I mean, there are, but it's so freeform nowadays. People don't necessarily write rhyming poetry or follow certain formats anymore. So just to get people involved is the important thing.
I'll say when I write poetry, I really kind of just sit down and, like you said, I just kind of like spill the emotion on the paper. But then when I go back and revise and edit, that's when I start using these little tools where you tweak things and you rewrite it. And there might be one phrase that you're like, hey, I really like that, I'm going to expand on that.
I try to get them to go within to tell their stories or their family stories. I think that's the best place to start with what you know, and then you can branch out and get more imaginative and make things up. I think that self-expression is a great release valve for the pressures that kids have. I think it really helps them with that, with all that emotional turmoil, especially at particular ages. And I think it keeps them out of trouble. We need more arts programs for children.
The peaceful place where people find very pleasing. Some would say it's a palace, others would say it's heaven, but I would just call it home.
Nice.
Diana will read hers.
Sometimes it seems that speaking can be so silent.
I stealthily swim in the sea, seeing seaweed. It reminded me about SpongeBob SquarePants.
everybody letters. We all letter, we all write. And this experience of bringing it to a quill pen that they wrote the Declaration of Independence with, how they wrote prior to that, gave the kids a little bit of history, but it also slowed them down because you've got to dip the pen, you've got to be able to bring that ink onto the surface and get a good surface structure and writing. So it slowed them down, it made them think, it made them settle their brains and get rid of the noise in their heads.
No, you gotta make lots of marks.
Oh, lots of
Lots of marks.
Oh.
Let's flip it this way. You want the whole four.
Really a big thing is getting to be able to trust your own instincts, settle yourself down, and play. Just have a moment of play.
One mono line. This gives you a broad spectrum of lines. Press it down. See how fat it can be? If I go to the sides, see how thin?
The artist thinks out of the box a lot of times. Being able to bring this to the table to other people is helping them to make decisions, because you have to make a decision as to whether I use blue paint or red paint. Is the line going to go there? How am I going to do layout design? There's a lot of things that you have to figure and take in. What materials am I going to use? These are decisions that help us to make other decisions in life.
Making paint with eggs dates back to the early Egyptians, the Romans, Pompeii, all the way up, and this manuscript was more right before they did the printing press. Kids never saw feather pens. They never made paint with eggs. Everything about this was something I feel that even the adults had not seen. Some of them I said, would you let me see what you wrote? And when I read it, some of them were extremely mature and personal, and yet that same child that was so mature and personal in their writing said, I don't know how to draw it. So for me, the experience was, well, how about this, and make a suggestion. And when I made a suggestion, they grabbed at it. So that was a good experience for me, too. Goes with this? Yeah. Okay, so when you open your manuscript, it goes there. The colors in your illustration will also go here. I kept asking questions back. I said, what are you trying to do? They say a tree. I say, what kind of tree? And they say just a tree, and that was unacceptable. It better have what kind of tree? But I live in Bridgeton. I don't care, even Bridgeton has different trees. I like sharing it. I like it being very individual. Yeah, a project, or it did not have to be graded. It didn't have to be 27 things to be judged. Was it complete, incomplete, or all? It was more about feeling what they experienced. This, I thought, was very personal for a lot of the students.
Generally, when you think of covers, you think of, you know, they're stronger than the paper that you're using. Sometimes they're a little bit bigger, they're thicker. What they are doing is they are protecting the book. So when you have a book that is going to get a lot of use, big, thick book textbooks, for instance, their covers are very strong. They're very often quite interesting to look at, but the main point of them is they're strong because they're going to get moved around, they're going to get used, they're going to get thrown down, they're going to get stamped on. Not that you would ever stamp on or throw down or stamp on your textbook, but they do get a lot of use. So you want a thick, heavy cover. Books that are going to be in use day in, day out, they're going to get strong covers.
My name is Iveta Pirgova. I work at Wheaton Arts and Cultural Center in Millville. I'm the director of Folklife and Cultural Studies Department at Wheaton Arts. This grant was given to us by the New Jersey State Council on the Arts under the Arts in Education Special Initiative. And the purpose of this is to help us connect with schools in our area in Cumberland County. These artist residencies were not meant to replace the school curriculum, but to enhance it and help the students to have a broader and deeper understanding of arts, variety of art forms, and connections between arts and life, their family life, their community life. And the more variety of art forms they can explore, the better they would understand these connections. I got amazing feedback. I have to admit, it was more than I ever expected. Artists were thrilled, and they were so appreciative of how the teachers work with them, how much they helped, and the enthusiasm of the students and their really good response. I mean, no one was sleeping in class, no one. They loved the themes that were chosen for their stories, the stories that will be written in the manuscript. I mean, art is the most powerful of all human expressions, so if they can use it in life after that, even if they're not an artist, they can still use it in life, I think it would be wonderful.